life. And any decision you make, you immediately cancel off an exponential number of options, right? One night, all my clients' websites disappeared from page one.
Dang.
I literally had a multiple six-figure business a year disappear overnight. The real secret and the real money and the billionaires are going to be in the developers that create new algorithms and train AI algorithms.
Welcome back to another episode of the Cody Cottle Show. Today, I am joined by an absolute legend and guru, the one and only Douglas James. Doug is known as the high-ticket client guy. He's gone on to, I would say, and maybe I'm a little bold, but to build an empire around you and just impact so many people's lives around the world, even the missions that you're setting out to conquest on now. Doug, it's an honor to have you, man.
Wow. It's actually an incredible honor to be on here with you, Cody. I've actually... we've been friends for a long while, and I've seen you grow and prosper, and it's actually pretty impressive. So congratulations for all your success, man. And this is cool. Like, you have your podcast and professional setup and team. Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Thank you, man. Well, on that note real quick, because that's just the direction it went, it's so important who we get around, right? Like, proximity is so important. And I remember when I moved out to San Diego, and like getting to like hear about guys like you and meet you through George and like Nicholas and all these people. And it's like so cool to see that everyone has big dreams. Everyone wants to do big things. Everyone wants to build a big business. Few people step into it and actually do it. And then it's like, how do you get in proximity around those people and begin to do that yourself? So thank you, bro, because like friendship with you is awesome, man. And you're just a really cool guy.
Thank you, man. You too.
Yeah.
I like the beard.
Let's go. I'm growing it out. The scruffy beard. It's getting a little long. But let's get into it. So, Doug, I like to kind of throw people a little off guard sometimes on the show. And I know you're at a really cool season in your life, gotten to be kind of close to you and see some things. So I want to ask you, like, what do you value most in life?
Connection. I'd probably say, obviously my daughters are super important to me, my family. Those are obviously number one. But I think just connection's so important because we're living in a world where there's technology, there's podcasts and Zoom and virtual events and all this stuff. And it's all really important. And it's all very useful technology, and AI's here. Shit, we got to talk about that. But
definitely.
But yeah, I think as our humanity becomes more distant because of technology and all this stuff and social media and cell phones and Netflix and all this stuff, like we need to go against the grain a little bit to come back to a baseline and have like human interaction, human connection. So that's like really why I like when I do podcasts, I like to do them like this. Like, let's do it in person. Let's, have a conversation in person, face to face, rather than on a Zoom. And it's nothing wrong with the Zoom. Like, we need that tech, but we also need to get around other people and break bread and have conversations and build community.
That's so powerful, man. I love that you said that, because we do have AI revolutionizing everything. We do have tech that's changed the game, and we're able to build these awesome businesses online and do all these cool things. But the more we have devices to connect us in the virtual world, the less we become connected as human beings.
Yep.
And then that leads to a rise in anxiety, depression, stress, so many things. So that was powerful, man. So, for the audience that doesn't know you, right, just like a brief little snapshot, Doug, of like who you are and what you've built.
Yeah, you introduced me, Douglas James. I've been in the marketing space now for, about over 8 years. That started when I was in the Navy for 10 years. So I was a hospital corpsman, and then I became a lab tech, basically a lab tech. If you're ever sick or anything, you go see the doctor, they take blood, take urine or whatever. And I'm the guy that looks at that and tells the doctor what's wrong with you. So I did that, for quite a number of years, and decided I didn't want to be in the Navy, for 10, 20, 30 years. And I eventually got out, found marketing. And for me, I've always been kind of like the guy that was, I didn't come up from a good upbringing, kind of bouncing around a little bit here, but I'll land the plane, trust me. Yeah, I didn't come from money at all. I didn't come from, I didn't get a big inherit a bunch of money or anything like that. My mom was a respiratory therapist, worked 12-hour nights. My dad was a, alcohol addict, drug addict, gambler. So I witnessed like physical abuse growing up, and it was like, I basically came from a place that wasn't, built for a foundation of success at all. I had to find my own way. So eventually when I got in the Navy, it instilled those things of discipline, leadership, and just general respect for another human being, right? Because of that, I think I was able to find marketing, build my team, build my culture, build everything that I have now. And I always go back to, treat others like you want to be treated. I think that's number one. If you can start there, you can have anything you want in life. If you can help other people get where they want to go in life, you can have anything you want in life, and I'm just a big proponent of do the right thing always. And a lot of people, just don't understand these common, common sense is not so common, right? Yeah. I just try to do the right thing always. And, it's given me opportunities to be here with you and build my team and speak and build a business I have and build a lifestyle that I have for my family and my girls, which is most important to me. So.
Yeah. And would you say, like, coming from a tough background, I can obviously resonate with that in my own way. Did that fuel you at all to want to create a better future?
Oh, yeah, 100%. It was basically, my dad was an example of what not to be.
Yeah.
And I was like, I never want to be like that when I get old. Like, and I never want my family to have to worry about if they're going to have to eat or if they're going to be interrupted in the middle of the night, from, I don't know, belligerent drunkenness in the living room, So I wanted to create a life for my family that was free from all that noise and give us better options that I never had growing up. And, my daughters are going to get to experience that, fortunately, but they're also going to know the value of money and they're going to understand respect and the common things that we've talked about here.
Yeah, that's so good, man. Why do you think it is, Doug, that you could have another man that same type of background as you, right? Like really tough background, and could go a completely different direction than you went, could repeat the behavior of what was modeled for him? Why do you think that is? Why are you where you're at today and there's another man out there that's not? And why this is significant is there's choices you've made along your life that have allowed you to take this path.
That's a good question. So what I think about is, this might get controversial or whatever, but, there's a lot of, anyway, I'll just say this. You have the decision to do the right thing or wrong thing in anything in life. And any decision you make, you immediately cancel off an exponential number of options, right? Because if I make a decision to do something today, it's going to immediately close off some other opportunity, some other thing going on over here, right? I think from a product of where you're growing up, depending on where you live, where your family's from, what are the options there? A lot of people aren't given good options. They actually come from really impoverished communities, right? And sometimes they don't know they got to do the thing they got to do to put bread on the table, right? And sometimes that involves theft or drugs, right? My dad did that stuff as well, and but I think for me, I was going down that path, of making bad decisions. When I was 17 years old, I got caught robbing from Target, and at the time I thought that was the right thing to do. I watched my dad do it. I'm like, okay, dad's cool. Or, I had these things instilled in the back of my head. I'm like, okay, and end up stealing like a bunch of electronics from the Target when I was 17 years old and got caught and spent 18 hours in jail. And I'm like, man, this sucks. Like the guy next to me is like saying, I'm going to kill that bitch. I'm going to kill that bitch. I'm like, who is he talking about? Like, this guy's nuts. Another guy's like rocking in the corner. Looks like he just got off a crack pipe. I'm like, this is not where I need to be in life, Wow. So basically after that moment, I made a decision. I never want to be here again. Mom and grandma picked me up the next morning. It was a waterworks show and started bartending, get into a different scene. Again, alcohol, bad friends, bad circles, bad people, staying up late. I was never going to like do drugs or steal or God forbid kill. So I would never kill anyone, right? I never want to be in jail or put myself in a situation, but still I continue to make bad decisions because of the people I was hanging out with.
Right.
So the people you hang out with or the people that you associate with make up a lot of, what your reality is. Wow. And, most people just don't get that. When they're thinking about starting a business, they go ask their mom that's been working for 40 years a 9-to-5 job. And they're like, Mom, I want to start this business. Do you think it's a good idea? And she's like, no, it's a scam. Like, go to college. It's like, well, you're getting your information from the wrong individuals, right? So I think, the quicker that you can put yourself in a situation to learn from someone else to level up. Like for me, I joined the Navy, so I immediately instilled into a culture that was thrive for success. It was built for success. And if you knew how to use that formula and grow your make rank and make more money and lead people, you can have whatever you want in life. And that's what I found, and I just took those principles and I put it in the civilian world. And here we are.
Dude, that's crazy, man. And, I didn't know, so you went to jail for 18 hours. So when I was 18 years old, 2 weeks before graduation, I got arrested. with 2.5 ounces of weed, a 357 Magnum, and a crushed up Adderall. And I went to jail and I had multiple felonies on the table, and I spent 18.5 hours in a jail cell. I counted the bricks in that jail cell because I luckily got put, I didn't go to J. Reuben long. I was in South Carolina time. So I was just in the holding cell at like the local police. So I actually sat in a cell by myself, and there was 183 bricks, and I counted them over and over and over again. And I had one of those moments too where, so my dad's a drug dealer. My dad's a biker gang leader. He's been in prison my entire life. And I was like, I don't want to end up like him. Yet here I am doing the same thing my dad did. And it took that moment to shift some things. And I think that's powerful. But there was a decision even in that, Doug, that you and even I had to make. We had to choose to want to be different leaving that. So that's powerful. Then the military instilled discipline, I'm sure, into your life. And the way that you've translated that into the civilian world, this is good, dude. You can go in the military and learn discipline. Yet why do so many veterans get out of the military? They don't apply it in the way that you have, bro. They don't go build companies like you've built. How are you able to do that? And why do you think so many in the military struggle with that?
Leadership. My first chief, so there's good leadership and there's bad leadership. My first superior took his life. He got back from deployment. He was doing whippets, and it was like 6 p.m. and he was doing whippets, and we found him dead in his office when we got back from a blood drive in Bethesda, Maryland. This was like 2009. You know, he was suffering from PTSD. He saw things and he was trying to escape. You know, so he's doing whippets, getting high, right? Trying to cope with things, right? It's horrible, but again, that goes back to like his leadership, the system. You know, didn't necessarily the systems, the whole military system, like it's designed in a way to try to help people to cope and get over things, like especially from war and PTSD. And I have some of that stuff as well, but it's a flawed system. And you really need to lean on your family and your closest circle as much as possible. And if there's a breakdown in leadership or communication in any of those areas, you're gonna falter, right? So I watched him go down. Another chief came in, and he was like, "I'm gonna clean the show," because for a while it was tough, man. Like we had no real leadership in the office. You know, people were showing up late. Like it was like kind of like chaotic. But I had a chief come in, and I was always the guy who was like, "All right, guys, let's get our stuff together. Let's get on these blood drives. Let's collect these units," because our mission out there in Bethesda, Maryland, was to run blood drives. You know, and we were the #1 provider of blood units during the Iraq War.
Wow.
You know, during 2008, 2009, 2000. That was like a big time right there, right? And every unit of blood we got saved 3 lives, right? And I was always volunteering. I was really driven at that point to do more because I escaped a situation. I saw the opportunity and I knew the system. Like if I could apply myself and check off all the boxes that I need to check off that my superiors look at every single year on my evaluation, you know, did I go to college? Did I volunteer? Did I do my work? Did I lead teams? Did I do all these things? Then I could, you know, make more rank and make more money. And that's kind of like how it was preached. But the leadership, the chief that came in eventually after that, he was like, saw opportunity in me to go up for Sailor of the Year, right? And he actually put me up and ended up winning Sailor of the Year out of that command in Bethesda, which is at the President's Hospital. There's like 8,000 sailors there. It's kind of a big deal. And this was in 2009. So just over the course of my career, I just happened to have the right leadership at the right time. I had the right superior supporting high-ranking individuals, guiding me, and kind of like creating a custom path for me to have success and present an opportunity. And they allowed me to also perform my strengths. And my strengths was always to, let's gather people, let's take charge of these events or these programs, whatever. It could have been the Navy Ball, the Corpsman birthday. I was always the guy that was doing it. Even when we went to Papua New Guinea, Fiji, and the Philippines, went on a humanitarian mission. Like I was the guy running all the programs on the ship. I was always, and here, dude, actually, here's an interesting connection I'm just making right now after telling the story 100 times. I was great at boosting morale.
Wow, that's superpower.
Actually, yeah.
I'd say that's a God-given talent that you have.
Yeah.
In leadership.
I'm literally just realizing that because everything that I did was around boosting everyone's spirits and morale.
Because when you collectively boost morale towards one mission, they'll get it done.
Yeah, 100%.
That's good.
So like events, balls, birthdays, cake cutting ceremonies. Yeah, dude, I was always into that stuff. I was great at coordinating events. and bringing people together to celebrate something.
So what I heard you say was there was a lot of value in the mentors and the timing that they came in your life. And it seems like they saw the gifts that you had and they helped elevate that within you to use that. So that's powerful.
It's the leadership, man. It's the people around you. Like if you have shitty people around your life, you're not going to have good results. Something's got to click. You have to either like find a guru or a coach on YouTube or something. You got to get around somebody.
And often like our mentors could even be on a podcast like this. Like a lot of my mentors I've never met.
Yeah.
And then, or they could be the coach that I hire online, the guru, whatever, because whatever it takes, get in proximity to the person, that's where you want to go. So I think that's powerful. But what's really cool, Doug, is so you're in the military and you get into digital marketing, right? So tell us, so you started running paid ads. Was that the start?
Start.
I do. Come on, tell us it down and dirty, bro. Let's be real.
I told this story for the first time yesterday on another podcast, so I'll just share it here. So basically, I started in nightclubs.
Really?
Yeah, technically. So I found this guy on Instagram. I DM'd him. I saw him he DM'd me to like come like get a free drink at a club, and I was like, hey man, what are you doing DMing me? Like, what's this all about? And he's like, well, I found you through a hashtag. I'm like, that's interesting. Like, I want to learn more about that. Do you mind if you teach me and I'll help you do it? And so he's like, cool, come to my office. Actually, his office is not far from here in Mission Valley. He's probably he's not doing that anymore. This was like 2014. But basically what he taught me to do is find the hashtags that girls were using that were posting at the different clubs downtown and find out which ones were the most popular, then go DM all those girls and offer them free table and drinks at the club, right? And coming from Italy, I was in Italy for 2 years. I'm 25 years old, so like I loved going out, partying, club. Like that's what you do in your 20s. I was like, this is fun. So I did that, and so you go Friday. It's Friday or Saturday night. You get all the girls there. They got free drinks. You got them table service and everything, multiple tables. And I'm there, just their host, pouring them drinks, and they're having a good time. Like 50, 60 girls, man, like 4 tables. And then what you got outside is you got all the guys.
Right.
That are trying
200 guys trying to get in.
200 plus guys trying to get into the club, and there's a line.
It's good marketing.
So, the promoter's like, hey, we want to get you guys in. How about this? We'll give you guys a table so you can get in faster, half off, and plus it's already filled with girls. There's like 10 girls drinking at the table already. What do you think they did?
Every single one of them opened their wallet up.
100%. So now we got 4 tables, all guys and girls, and then boom, I make like, $300-400 in the night. That's how I got started.
I didn't know that. That's so cool to hear that right now, bro. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I started like the whole hashtag Instagram. Like when you post your podcast, you probably post a hashtag.
Yeah, we do some.
Yeah,
less and less now. It's not as important as it used to be.
I don't think it's as important now because of the algorithms. It'll pick it up and show it to the right audience, right? But people still use them, and you can still find out what they're watching. So basically, after that, dude, I was like, I kind of got out the party scene. I found Sonia, which is my wife now. So I'm like, I can't do this forever. So, and she wasn't too happy about me DMing, random girls on Instagram.
Right, like the party girls, like DMing.
Yeah, so that faded out really quick. And plus, I was super into weightlifting. I was walking around like 10% body fat, back in like 2014. Anyway, so my buddy Anthony, I saw him like posting pictures of him hosting these mixers. Right. And I'm like, Anthony, what are you doing there? Like, you're making drinks for people, talking in front of people. What's all of that going about? And he's like, oh, I sell products for Advocare, so it's like a supplement brand.
Right. I
go to this mixer and, basically it's a MLM, multi-level marketing, which I don't recommend anyone do.
I started in that too.
99% of people lose money. But I ended up doing it with him. I bought a bunch of products, got a couple people signed up underneath me, made $600, and I'm like, wow, I'm the man. Like $600 online, this is cool. But that fizzled out super quick because that entailed me DMing every single friend or family member on Facebook.
Yeah, then you become that guy.
Yeah.
I went through it. I was the Vima guy.
Yep. So you know exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, man, and then I was up one night and I'm just like, man, I just want to kill my job. I literally said that to myself, and I popped that into Google. Well, there was a freaking program named that. I'm like, what the heck? So I click on this.
Good SEO.
Yeah, good SEO, right? And it was a program that taught SEO, how to rank websites on Google. Ended up buying it. It was like a few grand. Well, wouldn't you know it, 4 or 5 months down the road, I'm ranking websites, and I got, 20 clients paying me $500 to $2,000 a month. I was making like 40, 50 grand a month.
Wow.
like super quick.
Doing the SEO, Google marketing, all that stuff.
Yeah, just SEO basically.
Just selling SEO. And this was when it was like growing popular, right? Like that was a good timing.
2014, 2015. Yeah, this was really hot, dude. And but here's what happened. The program that I had bought, it was teaching you how to do SEO using like spammy backlinks. So 20-second crash course, basically to get ranked high on Google, you have to have other authority websites mentioning you on their website. So I want like Discovery Channel, Weather Channel, Wikipedia to have a link of my website on their website that gives my website authority.
Right, boost it up.
But they were using this freaking Rolodex of like these horrible blacklisted like websites. And what happened was Google releases algorithms like every so often. They released one back in October-ish of 2016, I think. And it was called the Penguin, and it basically like crushed you if you're using those black hat like spammy backlinks. And so, dude, I woke up literally the next day, one night, all my clients' websites disappeared from page one.
Dang!
I literally had a multiple six-figure business a year disappear overnight. So that's when I had to pivot. I kind of knew about Google AdWords. I kind of knew about Facebook ads. I'm like, I'm just going to pivot, go to paid traffic, because on paid traffic, to be honest, I can put $1 today in and make, $5, $6, $10 out the same day.
If you know how to work it, you get a ROAS.
Exactly. So, I've been doing, paid ads now for, 7+ years. And, I'm still doing it today. I mean, we spend close to $1 million a month.
Yeah. You guys are an authority in it now.
Yeah.
You guys definitely rose up. So that's how you ended up in paid ads. Dude, there's a lot of people out there that are like, man, I see guys like you crushing it online. What advice do you give to them if they want to go build a business online? There's so many avenues now to do it. And there's a lot of junk, to be honest, out there. What advice would you give to somebody that's like, Doug, I want to get out of the military and make money online?
Yeah. If it's somebody in the military and they want to get out, that's good, because most of the time I'm spending time to convince them, like, dude, you got to learn a skill set and be valuable, because military is not going to be for you. You're going to hang out that uniform and it goes away overnight, right? Just like my websites did. But yeah, it's a great question. And yeah, there's a ton of things that you could do, man. There's so many opportunities now in online marketing with AI, even blockchain, real estate. Like I'm invested in everything I just said. For me, I'm kind of biased, but dude, here's the deal. I don't think, as long as there's businesses that need customers and there's consumers willing to exchange money for those businesses' services, there will always be that opportunity. You can always be the middleman between businesses and their customers and get paid for leads.
Right.
And that's just what I've been doing ever since I basically started,
So you figure out, how do we get leads? Leveraging the internet. Paid traffic's the biggest thing. And then you sell those leads. Yep.
That's it. And now with AI and artificial intelligence, we can fully basically automate 98% of the entire process.
Yeah. So let's go there, because I'm doing a lot with AI in my company. AI is going to change everything. Probably 70% of marketers that don't innovate and put AI into their business are going to go extinct almost overnight soon. Mm-hmm. What are you seeing with AI? What's going to change? How can people begin to implement it? That's loaded. I know that's loaded. Yeah. But let's go there.
Yeah. I mean, it's adapt or die. AI is going to take over. I was just reading literally yesterday, IBM is going to be letting go 7,800 employees, right? And Walmart, Target, Amazon, they have warehouses, manufacturing, that they're about to let go of tens of thousands of employees for robots and AI, right? And that's just like that sector of the industry. We're not even gotten into the online marketing space right yet. So, but I mean, if you take a look at online marketing and what entails and all that, you have graphic artists, you have copywriters, right? You have funnel builders, you got image creator, like you got all these different things, dude. And now you can literally type in a prompt into something like ChatGPT and it creates it for you, or Midjourney, right?
And Midjourney makes the image, ChatGPT, any output you want if you know how to input it.
Yeah.
And you can even build formulas now to get even more specific.
Yeah. So what we've been doing now is for ChatGPT, so here's the deal with AI. It is going to replace a lot of jobs for sure. But I think that if you're somebody that's looking to create your own economy, get into online business, quickly learn to adopt it and be valuable and know how to use it. Because here's the deal, AI still needs a validator, meaning you put in a prompt or put in an input and it's going to give you a result, but you still need to QC it to make sure it works, right? Yeah. Like if I say, hey, ChatGPT, write some copy for me for a dental clinic, with a good offer that converts on a Facebook ad, and give me the image and all that stuff, you still want to see and read it to make sure it makes sense. Like, does the offer make sense? Like, is somebody going to pay, $20 for a dental checkup, or are they going to come in and receive $500 off for Invisalign, right? Or and does the image make sense? So you have to kind of like make sure you double check all these different things.
Right. Still requiring a human, and it will get more optimized. Like, I went to Perry Belcher's AI Bot Summit in Vegas like a month ago. AI, robotics, and no-code software combined together are lethal, because you can now put in robotics to automate some of that, even with a robot, putting into an artificial intelligence, and then you can build a no-code software to design the application for what you want it to do. But even then, I look at it like, and this is a weird analogy, but I feel like we're about to go from digging in the sandbox with our hands dug, even though we're innovated, like we're far, to a backhoe that drives itself.
Yeah.
But you still got to put in, where do you want the backhoe to dig, and where do you want it to dump the soil?
Yep.
And that's still going to require someone to do that.
100%. Yeah, we're using a lot of AI right now, from as far as like copy, images, funnel design, even scheduling. Like, we have basically every single person that books a call on my team's calendar, they get a personalized video where I say their name
with your voice.
Yeah, the video, everything, and it's me. You cannot even tell when their appointment's booked. Everything.
Come on.
Right.
So you guys are, the personalization of the customer journey right now, from what I'm hearing you say. So there's automation when they book a call. There's a very personal message coming from you that AI is creating. And then on the back end, copy, design, things like that, you probably are able to 100x almost productivity leveraging AI.
Yeah. It goes to, people want to feel special. The more you can make them feel special and heard and noticed in your marketing, the more they'll show up to the call they booked and convert and engage.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people want to, blast everyone with 100 text messages, 100 emails, and not really focus on the content and the value. And is it customized to that individual? And they're going to lose, like right now, like I have a video right now, like it looks like I just whipped out my phone, shot it, and texted to someone's phone. An MP4 file. And
it makes someone feel like, wow, like Doug really took the time to send me that.
Yeah. So it's kind of scary, and it's, like.
I wrestle with that too.
Yeah.
In one hand, it's like, wow, this is kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
The other hand, it's like, this is really cool, and there's so many things we could do with this.
Yeah. Yeah. The other program too, we're using Synthesia. So basically, it's kind of difficult to get this done, and I think it's in beta, and they got to approve you to do it first. I don't think you can just get it done. We're still, I think they're still figuring it out. I think they're going to make it fully public at some point.
Yeah, but they'll beta test it with some people.
Yeah, I have a full-on AI version, Douglas James AI.
Building a personality and a persona.
Yeah.
So that's a new thing right now. That's one of the things a lot of people are wondering. Can you educate it to talk like Doug, to think like Doug? Like, that's kind of crazy, bro. Yeah. Like, so you're building a synthetic version of yourself to integrate into your business.
Well, that's what AI is. AI takes enormous amounts of data, compiles it, and gives you a strategy to execute on. Like case, like I teach all my students case. Compile evidence, compile data, and analyze it, strategize, and execute.
Yeah.
AI is cutting 50% of that out. 75% of that out, so you can just execute it, and a lot of times it'll execute it for you.
Yeah.
So that's all AI is. It's just studying data. You can feed it anything that you want to get a desired outcome, and it only gets better over time. For example, this past weekend I was hanging out with my buddy and business partner Nick Peterson. Me and him are partnered in a blockchain Web3 company, and he made friends, and because of Nick, I made friends with this guy as well. His name's Howard Jetson, but Howard has basically been the CEO of an AI company for 32 years.
Wow.
And we're over here freaking out about ChatGPT.
It's interesting you say that, because there's been a pop in publicity around AI, but AI's been, Google, all these companies we know have been using AI. Yeah. That suggestive technology on Google, is that not AI?
It's all AI. Netflix.
AI.
It suggests like what you should watch on Facebook. You open up your Facebook, if you're watching cats all day or shopping for cats on Amazon, boom, there you're gonna find cat collars and stuff in the Facebook ad.
Right.
So it's been around us like this whole time we've been engaging in it.
There's a buzz right now.
Yep. And like for example, there's a company called Joanne, I think is what it's called. basically they developed the patented and AI technology that airports use. So whenever you and I walk into an airport, they know exactly who you are within 10 seconds.
Wow.
Just by walking in the airport.
Wow. Facial recognition, all
facial
that.
recognition. So if you've ever been arrested, that's an obvious one, or took a picture for a driver's license, or posted a picture in a profile on Facebook, or any of that stuff, it's all stored in the central computer database, wherever you want to call it. Maybe the CIA has access to it. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure they do. They probably got even more than that by now.
Yeah. So, all that technology, it's been around us for so long. And yeah, since December of 2022, it's the first time the public has had access to it, right? So ChatGPT, I think, got 1 million users in just a few days compared to like Facebook and Snapchat and all these things.
I think they might be the fastest growing platform in the world now because of the hype around it. And what do you think this is going to do to the race for business to innovate AI now? Because there's so much attention on it, it does change things. These companies were kind of in the shadows working on AI, implementing it, pitching it to big business, government, things like that, private sector. But now every business is like, we got to figure out how to get AI in our business.
Yeah.
What's that going to do?
Well, I'll tell you that your most important currency, as I'll call it, is your time, right? You can never get time back. You can only save time going forward. So if I can help you, increase your business by 6 or 7 figures, and it increases your workload by 1% versus 99%, I become very valuable to you, right? And what you're seeing is now, so here's the deal with AI. A lot of people are focused on the outputs of like ChatGPT and like these other softwares that are coming out. I think, and that's all super like we're using it. It's all super useful stuff. Adopt it, use it. You're going to need it. Your employer is going to be asking you about it, be more valuable. But the real secret and the real money and the billionaires are going to be in the developers that create new algorithms and train AI algorithms to cut time down and help people save time and make more money. That's really where the game's at. So, for example, Howard, right? He's been the CEO of a AI company for 32 years. They developed a AI trading software that they've been using for the past 5 years, and I just found out about it. And basically, for the last 5 years, it's gotten 176% return in 5 years. Right? And how many traders do you know that trade stocks or commodities or crypto or any of that stuff, and they get wrecked and lose money? And now basically that whole industry is getting replaced by one singular AI once it becomes adopted, and Howard's a potential billionaire or trillionaire when that company sells, or whenever the hedge funds get into that, right? That's just one industry. And he's developing patents for all kinds of industries, including marketing, right? So like for me, and this is not a rah-rah train for Howard or anything, but it's just opening my eyes. Like, I'm meeting with my team and I'm like, all right, guys, what are we doing with ChatGPT? What are we doing with like these softwares? There's another one called Sidekick.ai that we're looking at for funnels. Synthesia, now I have a Douglas James AI. Like we have all this stuff, but what are our main problems in marketing and customer service and business growth? Like, what are the main problems? And can we train an AI, not go sign up for a program, but can we train an AI algorithm to solve that problem? Let's use it, test it. But now that it works for us, can we get mass market to adopt that?
That's so good.
Right?
I agree, because time's our most precious asset. And it was predicted like years ago, man, that actually in the 2000s that human beings wouldn't work as much. Like there was somebody that like talked about that. There's a potential with a future with AI where you don't need to work 8 to 12 hours a day to provide for your family. I would like to believe the good of this could be you can work a couple hours a day because of all of the AI and the help it does, and you can still produce the value to the company that it needs to pay you what you need to live your life. So there could be a very good thing. Mm-hmm. I sat down with my team because I had just my eyes were opened, I guess, with this. And I think right now, Doug, we're kind of like Disneyland with AI, where there's so many different directions we can go with it. And it's like, what exists, and this is what I would say to the audience, what exists in your industry that takes a lot of time, that's super frustrating, that you could build something with AI that solves that problem? First, internal, like you're doing, you're going to your team like, hey guys, where's our bottlenecks? Where's our struggles? How do we build tools to solve these? But then you have that visionary mind. You're like, once we solve it, how do we bring it to market? Will the market buy it? Because then that's the billion-dollar company, right? Potentially is, if you solve this for your business and you know that was a pain for you, how many other people are in the market having that same problem and you're just first to market with it? Perry Belcher, who co-founded Digital Marketer, and I was just talking to him, he told me, he's like, dude, most successful multimillionaires in industries, they're just first to market. So how do you come first to market? So I see this wave coming, like massive wave in all these industries. I mean, you could go into plumbing and go to talk to a plumber and be like, yo, what problems are you having in plumbing? Where's your constraints? And then you go to your team and be like, can we build something for this guy? Beta test it with him. And then boom, go hit every plumbing company in the world. Be like, hey, we created this for your industry. We know this is a problem. This solves it. It takes this much time.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. First to market always wins, right? There's something called the diffusion of innovation. It's actually a book. You can look it up. I've read. It's a hard one though. It's
a hard read.
It's complicated. If you need something to put you to sleep, like try to read that book. But basically, the diffusion of innovation. If you look at a bell curve that looks like this, right? Right before the hump, you have all the innovators, all the new people that are creating technology, right? And they don't have any market capitalization yet. It's just them and their small team that are building something, kind of like Jeff Bezos when he was selling books out of his garage, right? Like the innovator space. And then you got the early adopters, right? And you got the innovators, then investors. That's only under 4%. Then you got early adopters. So you're starting to go up that bell curve. By the time you get to the tip and you go over the hill, now you got the late majority investors coming in, right? But that whole rise up is where the market capitalization increases. So if you're an early investor, that's where you make the most money. If you buy it or use it after everyone's already adopted or didn't innovate the space, well, you're late to the game. Congratulations. Now internet's a part of your everyday life. Like, we don't get excited saying, oh my gosh, I searched something on Google today and it gave me this result. Like 1999, everyone thought, the internet was a fad. Like, no one will ever buy something or order groceries from the internet. Like, that's a joke, right? Look at us now. I just Postmates before I got here.
Yeah, now I don't even want to go in a grocery store.
Right. So, but yeah, that's, it's just like the people that bought Bitcoin in, 2010 for under $100. Now Bitcoin's today sitting around 30 grand.
Yeah.
So, the earlier that you can get in and you're patient, but the important thing to this is you have to have a long-term time preference in everything you do. We live in a culture where everybody wants to be spoon-fed. Everyone wants to get rich quick. They don't want to do any work. They want to sit on their hands and think everything's going to come to them. No, you got to do the work, and you have to do it for a long time and not expect anything for a long while. If you believe in what you're doing or the team that you're invested in, your time will come, but you have to have a long-term time preference. I was at Grant Cardone's office, I think that was November last year, and he told me that, everyone that invests into his funds, they don't get to pull their money out for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
So dude, VCs, they take all the cash and they distribute out the whole fund for over 3 years. So people don't expect a return or anything for 3 years. I just got into a self-storage fund where, I'm probably not going to see a return at least for a couple of years.
Right.
So it's like anything you do, any business, like if you're trying
saying have that long game mentality.
Yeah.
Be an early innovator or adopter or investor. So you're catching the right side of the bell curve. And then there's just so many possibilities right now. What advice would you give to somebody that just wants to capitalize in some way on it? Like, what would you say?
In what exactly?
Yeah, so they're like, all right, Doug, I hear you, bro. Like, I want to be in the beginning of that bell curve. Maybe I already feel like I'm a little late to the game, but I know there's still a long way to go. Where do I start? What do I look at? What do I do?
I mean, what are you interested in? Real estate, crypto? Like, what do you believe in? Like, I would probably say start with, and here's the thing, like everybody's different. That's why I don't like to specifically give financial advice, because it's like what I buy and invest in is not what you or anyone else should buy. You should base it off of your solvable problem. Like, I need to hit this number in this amount of time with the least risk and the most certainty as possible. So I'm going to go this route because I believe in this and this team, and these are the things that I'm passionate about, right? Which could be completely different for you, right? But I think some disruptive things to really just pay attention to and study right now. We talked about AI, number one, 100%. looking at AI. Market capitalization for AI last year was 100 million. This year it's 500 million, 5x in a year. By 2030, it's going to be a multi-trillion-dollar, market as well. So it's just going to continue to rise and adopt. So use it, be a part of your everyday life, be useful and more valuable in your business or to your employer or however, you make your money. But number two, definitely blockchain. Look at what's going on in our economy right now in the world with the US dollar, right?
Yeah.
I mean, First Republic Bank went down, a major regional bank went down just 3-4 days ago, right? PacWest went down 2 days ago. What was the other big one that went down?
Silicon Valley.
Silicon Valley, massive bank, the second largest bank to go down in history was like last month, right? And we're in a state of inflation where the Federal Reserve is increasing interest rates. Money's really expensive right now to get a loan, right? And they've been over leveraged for so long and a lot of greed in the market, right? Because of COVID, they printed all this cash. Now our dollar has inflated. It used to cost you $2 for a loaf of bread. Now it costs you $8. Gallon of milk was $2. Now it's $8. So, so you have to hedge. First of all, you have to hedge against that, hedge against the inflation and the possible recession that's coming. And a few ways that you can do that is buy assets that appreciate and hold their value, like a Bitcoin. Not telling you to buy a Bitcoin, but just look at cryptos and top 5 currencies and just understand what that technology is all about and what it means. And before you start buying crypto and invest in companies, number one, you need to make more dollars. Like, you got to create your own economy, number one. So if you're somebody that's trying to get into business or try to really find stability, you got to create your own economy first.
I like that. Create your own economy. That's powerful.
Yeah, man, 100%. You got to make more dollars because you're losing 15% a year on your dollar. Like you put 100 grand in the bank last year. Now you only have technically 85 grand because of the average inflation, or 15% year over year. So you got to make more dollars, and you can't make more dollars by expecting the check that you're getting every single couple weeks from your boss. Like that's great. Like, you need that to put food on the table, but you got to be looking at other opportunities, creating businesses, investing in things or something, or doing some side coaching business or side marketing business, something. So make more dollars, create your own economy, as I would say 100%. And this whole stuff going on with the economy and the dollar, we got BRICS, Russia, India, and all these countries basically saying we're not going to be using the dollar to trade anymore.
Yeah.
Right. And I think people are freaking out because they think their dollar is going to go to zero tomorrow. Well, that's not true, because 60% of the world reserve currency is held in dollars. Right. And if you look at currencies over thousands of years, every 100 years, there is a change of guard, so to speak, with the world reserve currency, but it takes 15 to 30 years for that transition to happen. So this might be the start of that transition happen. What will be the world reserve currency 30 years from now? I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. They're talking about creating CBDC.
Universal or digital currency.
Yeah, digital currencies, CBDCs, so that brings up big concerns, because now the government can issue you an allowance, $2,000 a month, and you have 30 days to spend that money. If you don't spend it, it goes to zero.
Yeah, they'll control people with that for sure.
Yeah.
And make them dependent on them. That scares me.
Yeah. I mean, did you watch Black Mirror? The show?
Yeah.
So the social scoring stuff?
That's scary, dude.
Yeah.
That freaks me out, where they all have like a number and stuff.
Yeah, that's a real thing. So like, if you're a crappy person and treat and disrespect people all the time, and you're like a 2.0 out of 5, basically. Yeah.
But you also, who's controlling that? That's what scares me. If you don't do what I want, you're 2.
Yeah. Well, so here's the thing. The technology's developed by people above us. I don't know who, right? But it puts it in the hands of the user, as saying, and it regulates. The state makes it regulated, like, this is how we're going to operate, but it's up to the individuals to score each other. It's like, okay, now we have this platform that we have to use in order to get access to Starbucks or first class tickets or whatever, nice resorts, and you have to be a 4.0 or more to be in there, right? It's putting on us to use it. So everyone wants to be a 4 or 5 star. So let's be fake, and let's, Well, it goes back to like treat people with general respect, but it puts you in a situation where like you have to be something maybe you're not all the time to please someone else to make sure you have a high social score.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right?
So back to the currency thing though. You said and create your own economy. I'd say that's the first step, right? Like, hey, if you're not creating cash flow in your life, you're just living off the job paycheck, find ways to educate yourself, find ways to build cash flow. Then with that cash flow, you said, hey, look at assets that aren't going anywhere that are going to grow, right? Like the US dollar, you're like, hey, if you got 100K, it's worth 85 grand now because of inflation appreciation. So you have to invest in something that outpaces that or something that's safe to not get affected by that, right?
100%.
So what moves are you making?
That's a good question. You trying to look in my portfolio?
Yeah, we all are public right now.
Yeah.
Whatever you're willing to share, Doug, of course.
No. 100%. I'm happy to share. So I'm definitely heavily invested into crypto for sure. I do own part of a crypto education and publishing company. So basically what we're doing over there is we're bringing the education space for new adopters to crypto and teaching them how to operate in this new economy, this new digital economy, and not treat it like a casino. Like, for example, today, as you and I are talking, there's a coin called Pepe. And
moonshot it.
Don't buy Pepe. Don't buy Pepe because Douglas James said buy Pepe. But that coin is a meme coin, and the people that are buying that coin is because they're gamblers. They like to go to a casino. They put $1 in, and it could turn into $1,000 overnight or more, right? So we're bringing the education side so that people know how to operate in this new economy and actually have a solvable problem for their family and have a long-term time preference and invest in projects and a team that are actually building and doing good, because blockchain will be a technology that's going to be around for the long term going forward. Our governments are figuring out how to use it and regulate it, right? Because they see it working. So they see
there's too much popularity around it that there's no way it can't stick.
Exactly. So over there, we're also bringing like people like Joe Polish and Chris Voss, the FBI negotiator. We're helping them get on the blockchain in their communities via NFTs, which are non-fungible tokens, basically digital photos on the blockchain that represent a purchase of something. So like if I wanted to have a mastermind and there's only 100 seats and it's 50 grand each, well, you got to buy this NFT to come to the mastermind, right? So as long as you hold that NFT and we can verify it on the blockchain, then boom, you get to come sit with me and my team and hang out for a couple of days, right? So we're doing things like that. So memberships is a big opportunity with NFTs and blockchain. That we're doing the education stuff as well, and creating an entire ecosystem. So I'm invested in that ecosystem, and its foundational currency. It's called Guard. So the Guard Foundation's fully decentralized as well, fully regulated, autonomous group that's been set up and formulated as well.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so that's number one. I'm definitely into crypto. The second thing is real estate. I have a business, I have taxable income, and one of the best ways that you can hedge against your tax liabilities is get into real estate, because you can depreciate. You can write off, a certain amount up to a certain amount up to 3 years, right? So self-storage is what I decided to get into rather than like multifamily and wholesaling or flipping or any of that other kind of like make money stuff, because people will always need two things. They'll always need a place to live, and they'll always need a place to store their stuff.
Yeah, storage is huge, bro.
Yeah, it's big, man. And it's even bigger like right now because of recession and everything that's going on. People are losing their house.
They're downsizing.
They're getting forced out of their houses, and they need to put their stuff somewhere. Like, people hang on to their stuff. You ever seen the show Hoarders?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll tell you a funny story. I moved from South Carolina back to Michigan. I got a storage unit. I think it started out in some special for like $80, right? And I paid for that thing for 6 years, and it got up to like $210 a month.
Wow.
I paid more money for that storage unit than everything that was in it was worth. Great business model. I learned that from that. I'm like, if I ever, like, when I get to the place, I'm buying storage units.
Yep.
I'd rather be in as an investor probably too. I don't want to manage them, but just to get in on the profit that it makes.
Yeah, 100%. So you can do, you can be a GP general partner where like you take on all the risk and liability, or you can be a limited partner where you just passively invest in the other team. The GPs take everything, and a syndication, I think, is a great way to do that. You just have less, you have less of the upside, but there's way less risk, and like there's nothing on your plate to do, like
Yeah.
because they're doing everything, and you have a nice little return, you know, and then you own a piece of the equity going forward. So yeah, syndicate. If
Those
you're,
things change hands a lot too,
yeah,
especially over like the last decade.
yeah. So I definitely real estate. I can't talk about the multifamily. I know of it. I'm not in any of that. I chose to go, you know, storage, which is my macro belief system. So that, and also, yeah, AI. You know, I'm in Howard's company. You know, it's automatically trading my money,
That's powerful.
getting minimum 20%.
Yeah. Well, I had a guy in here recently. I introduced you to him. I brought him to your event with Robert Kiyosaki. Did you ever meet George?
George who?
Ama? There's a guy in Connect. He did the same thing. He has BotJock,
Okay.
AI trading assistant, ATAs they call it.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's an interesting industry with that. Do you think that's going to flip the financial market though? What happens when everyone has an ATA?
Or of Howard's
He's
company.
like, hey, yeah, he's like, everybody go get an ATA. You win, I win, and we all win.
Yeah.
It's just cool, man, where it's going. Well, we're coming up to an end here, Doug, and thank you so much, man, for your time. You've blessed us with so much wisdom today. Is there anything else on your heart right now that you just feel called to share with people that they need to hear right now?
Yeah, you know, I have been in the, so I told you I'm a veteran, you know, I was in the Navy for 10 years. So the veteran community has always been really important to me and close to my heart. I just did Military Wealth Summit.
I was there, brought in Robert Kiyosaki and Jason Redman and just amazing speakers.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, so we had that event. It was about 300 total from in-person and virtual. We had a lot more people on virtual. But I've helped so many veterans at this point basically create their own, we talking about that a lot, create their own economy. And I've teached and coached a lot of people how to do what I do and you know, make money from home and stuff. But I think the veteran community, I have a unique opportunity to really help that community, especially with the platform for military wealth. And I was trying to figure out, like, what does this community need the most? Because, you know, when you get out of the military, you had a uniform you wear every day. You had a team that looked up to you, a team you looked up to, right? You had purpose, fulfillment, you had structure, right? You had all those things. And the day you get out of the military, it goes away literally overnight. And I kind of said that earlier, right? And a lot of these guys, they get out the military, they don't have any guidance. They get into drugs or alcohol. They have marital issues. They have financial issues. And, you know, unfortunately, some of them commit suicide, you know, so that's really tough. And I think that more needs to be done there. And so I basically have this opportunity with veterans that I'm figuring out, you know, helping them make money and start a business is one thing. Like, they have something to do now. They have purpose and fulfillment and the community. But also, you know, you were at Military Wealth Summit and, you know, I basically read a prayer in front of everyone.
So powerful.
Yeah, and it really touched me. So I feel like I have a calling to also tap more into my Christianity and kind of share that through my work and doing it in a way, obviously, that's respectful to me and everyone, because that is really important to me. So I think we're looking at potentially doing, you know, I don't want to guarantee that this is going to happen. I'm in the discovery phase of it right now, but I think it'd be really cool to have some type of nonprofit ministry for veterans.
Come on.
Yeah. And I have the platform, I have the people to support me to do it. It's just a matter of putting that together and doing it in a legal, ethical way, which is really important to me. And I think we could impact a lot of lives doing that. So that's what I'm really kind of looking at right now and excited about.
That's amazing. You know, when God gave me a vision, I had a buddy, he just bought the Mad Beat down in Pacific Beach, which is an acai bowl shop. And he's a Christian brother. I surround myself pretty much with Christian entrepreneurs. That's who I feel called to like be around. And we went to his new business that he just acquired, like escrow closed, all of that. The next day was like the first day of being his business. And we laid hands on him and we prayed. And God showed me a vision, Doug, of like the world being dark. And then like businesses were like altars for God going up all around the world in like lights, almost like lighthouses in the darkness.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man, I don't know if you've ever heard Billy Graham. He was big in ministry. He prophesied, along with many other big ministry leaders, that the next move of God would be in the marketplace. So we saw all these different revivals happen and things happen around the world where people came to Jesus and worship movements and this and that. But the next one has been prophesied. It's through the marketplace. Mm-hmm. It's through business. It's through guys like you and me. Because if you think about influence, business where we make money, where we exchange is the most influential space in the entire world. I see an anointing on your life, dude. I see God's going to show you how to use what you've built to place altars all around the world. So stepping into agreement for you for that, whatever that looks like for you, whatever you get led on that journey, just know that I support you. We support you, man. We need more men doing that. It takes a certain level of boldness to be successful in business like you are and be willing to stand your ground and say like, hey, I do believe in Jesus. I do believe in God. I do want to help build and help my brothers and sisters. I'm not just in this to make a profit. So I'm excited, man. It's going to be cool.
That's good, man. Appreciate that so much. Yeah, I think entrepreneurs, we're the ones that lead the world, and they create the opportunity, and I think when you look at that from the lens of Christianity, I think, there is a calling there. So appreciate those words.
So powerful. Well, Doug, thank you so much for coming on my show, man. It was an honor. I just want to say this because I just want to honor you. Guys, just so you know, like, Doug's super humble, but he's probably got like the most powerful educational online like company for digital marketing. And Doug, for people that listen today and like, I would love to learn from a guy like you, where can they find you? How can they get plugged into what you offer the marketplace?
Yeah, I appreciate the plug here. Well, if you want to learn directly from what I'm doing, go to thevipagency.net, thevipagency.net. That's basically my video letter that you can check out. No obligation. It's not for everyone, but we try to be as transparent as possible. If you just want to hang out with me on social media, go to _Douglas James. That's my Instagram, and also have a link tree there, and you can find me if you just look up Douglas James. I'm verified, I think, on every platform except for TikTok. We're working on that one, the blue check or whatever. Just make sure it's that platform, because I am in a space where people like to copy my stuff and try to pose as myself, but just make sure you got the blue check.
Awesome, guys. Well, go connect with Doug. He's got phenomenal content. He's always making big moves. And Doug, thank you so much, guys. As always, go make today great.